Good morning. Let's talk about the problems of minimalism. But let me first explain where I am and what this is. So, today I got up a bit before 6 and kind of left the house around 6 when it was like really dark outside. So I really couldn't see anything. But it's like, oh, it's 7 now, it's an hour later, and it's getting brighter. Sunrise is coming. And so I wanted to, go on a bike ride with you. Not go like to a lake or somewhere, but I'm taking you on a bike ride. I'm at a place where I've never been before. And I think it's beautiful. It's like very red over there already, and you can see the moon and this beautiful like lonely tree here. Yeah, but maybe let's start with this topic. So, as you know, I like minimalism. I've been a minimalist for 7 years, and I think minimalism can be a great tool for many people. But I also think there are some problems with minimalism and with how we use it that we kind of also have to address and think about, which is why I want to talk about it. By the way, my hands are like really freezing off. It's -7 degrees, which is I think something below 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Is really cold, especially on a bike. So I think many people discover minimalism because they want a solution for something. And I think, yeah, minimalism can be a solution for clutter or overconsumption, but a lot of times we maybe want minimalism to be a solution for something it can not solve. If we try to get like happiness directly from minimalism, if we try to get like mental stability, mental health, solve problems in our relationships, things like that, then I think minimalism is not gonna solve these. And yeah, it can help. Like, yeah, your surroundings being beautiful can definitely help. Being calmer, having more energy to sort out these problems. So basically, what I want to say is that minimalism won't solve your problems. You still have to do that yourself, but it can maybe point into the right direction. It's so crazy at that point of the sunrise how fast it gets brighter. It's so bright behind me, but I'm still like, my face is still really dark. I hope you can see me. So the next thing I want to say is that I think we have to be careful when it comes to like letting minimalism be a part of our identity. When I say like I'm a minimalist, then kind of minimalism is already a part of my identity. But I think it's really important that we don't just become minimalists, because if all of our efforts just point towards being a good minimalist, then we're losing sight of what's important in life. I think again, like minimalism can be a tool, and in a certain phase of life, it might be an important tool, and it might take up a lot of your time, even if you're like decluttering through 20 years of stuff. But I think it's never supposed to become our identity or even too much of like a part of our identity, because being a good minimalist can never make us happy. It's never about how well you can declutter and how little you can buy and what number of possessions you own. And there I think it really kind of comes down to our definition. So defining it as a tool or defining it as something you're doing or you're interested in is, I think, better than defining it as like I am a minimalist or what I do in life is minimalism. Minimalism is never going to be the important thing. Instead of that, I think it's how you spend your time, the people around you, the things you actually do keep, the things you value, and you have to decide what the important things are for you, right? But having minimalism in common can mean we have nothing in common, because we're all seeking our own like good life through minimalism or through something else. Because I think it's important to not take minimalism too seriously. how beautiful is that? And talking about not taking minimalism too serious, I also think it's like very important that we stay true to ourselves. Something that's sometimes difficult in minimalism is that we start to compare ourselves and try to determine our success by comparing ourselves to other people that call themselves minimalist, that live a minimalist lifestyle. Oh, by the way, it feels like my face is frozen. I can't really move it. Ugh. Weird feeling. But so I think that's a problem of minimalism, that we try to to compare ourselves. Maybe we don't even try, maybe it just happens. And then on one hand, minimalists start to have similar lives in a sense of like the minimalist aesthetic, and everything starts to look the same. And now I think there's nothing wrong with like having similar possessions or having a similar aesthetic to what's maybe the minimalist aesthetic or to other people or other minimalists. So I think it's important, if we want to benefit from minimalism, that we stay true to ourselves and don't compare ourselves, no matter if it's about like the number of pieces we own, if it's about the number of pieces we declutter, if it's about the color we have in our wardrobes, or if our home looks minimalist enough. None of that is important, because if we do minimalism for someone else, if we do minimalism to achieve something, by comparing ourselves, then it's not going to lead to us living a better life. And then I don't know where the point is of minimalism. So the sun did really rise. It's still super cold, but it's a really beautiful morning. I've seen so many beautiful colors. The sunrise itself was, okay, but the moon, lately I've seen like great moon sets. But we're coming to the end of this video, and I just do want to say that minimalism has been a great tool in my life, and sometimes I've been a bit more focused on minimalism, and sometimes it hasn't played such a huge role. I can highly recommend to everyone to try out minimalism, to try out decluttering the things that don't add value to your life. I think that's something that's just, it makes sense, no matter if you call it minimalism or not. And I think what's important is that we don't become too obsessed. And that's also why I ditched like the whole extreme minimalism thing, and why in my everyday minimalism doesn't really play a huge role anymore. But I think it still just really makes sense to be intentional and think about what's important to you and stick to these things. Set priorities. There's so many ways to kind of live minimalism without calling it minimalism. There are problems with minimalism, especially if we use it wrong or ask too much of this tool. But it can also be really beneficial. Now I hope the wind is not making the audio terrible. But I think it's time to end this video here. It's time to warm up. It's time to soon maybe go home. The light is becoming more boring. That's just the reality after sunrise, and it's like daylight, a bit boring. So I'm happy I got up so early today, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I do also recommend you check out this one that I'm gonna link you right here, and otherwise until next time. Bye!